And there he is.
Good evening, keepers of the cash. You're gonna be the casual comic guy here, and joining me as always on Tuesday. But he's not the guest. He is not the co-host. He is the guest tonight. Steve, how you doing, Steve?
Excellent.
All right, and of course, we do have a special co-host tonight. We have Joe from Anachronic Comics.
Yes.
Joe, may I just compliment you on how comfortable these shirts are?
Aren't they nice? I told you they were good shirts.
They're light. The fit is good.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, but nice shirts. Thank you very much.
If you join my channel and help raise money for St. Jude's Hospital and Tunnel to Towers, you could get one of these shirts.
You too can be an anachronist.
You could be an
anachronist.
I think it's an anachronist, but I haven't figured that one out yet.
Anyway,
the pronunciation.
Steve, give the quick 2 minutes on who you are. We'll say hi to the crowd and then come back to you for your book, buddy.
I'm a collector. I've been collecting since I'm going to call it 82. That's the date I picked because that's the date or the year that I was collecting books, and I was actually paying my own money from the paper route that I had. So from 82 till now, and then I started a YouTube channel thanks to both of these guys, along with Matt and Matt Woods was the very first channel that I ever checked out, and then I think it was Joe, and then Reggie Collects, and then you, Gary. So with all your guys' help, and now I've got my own channel too, which is cool. So it's this one right here, the Comics of the Boys.
You've become a regular and a staple on many YouTube channels now.
Yeah, it's cool. I love co-hosting on your channel, Gary. So thank you so much. It's fantastic.
And Joe and I try to make a video with each other. It seems like every other week now.
Yeah, and I'm hanging out with Joe too. It's fantastic, and we're going to do one coming up real soon about the afterlife of our whole collection and what to do with it. So that's going to be a lot of fun. It's not going to be this Friday though. We have to reschedule because
I forgot that I was going to a concert with some family members.
Yep.
Oh, there you go. Nice. Well, let's say hi to the audience real quick. So we have first in, as always, James. How you doing tonight, Las Cruces? Nice to see you, buddy. One of my all-time favorite people, and coming up in 2 nights' time, doing the 10-1-1 for his first time, Jerry the Jitterbug.
Can't wait for that. It's going to be
great. Do not miss that episode.
Oh.
Paul from Psychedelic Comics. Good evening, sir. Great to see you. Steve White in there saying hello. The OG Blue Wrench herself, Miss Tina Carenson. Yeah. Good evening, Tina. Great to see you.
Your OG-ness.
Joe saying hello. We have one of our other regulars here tonight, Brad Walbor. How you doing tonight, sir? Great to see you.
My White Walker brother.
Oh, yeah. Rich, Comic Cap Collectibles. Great to see you, buddy.
Hey.
Circumstances. Marcus, how you doing?
Marcus.
And as always, every Tuesday, we got to plug it. After the show, head on over to Marcus's channel, Circumstances, and watch FOC and chill.
Yes.
Don't miss it. Marcus is a great dude, and he's a fun time. And if you haven't checked out his video from Heroes Con, I think it's just the nicest thing that's done. That video is absolutely gorgeous and beautiful. It's so well made, and you can't watch it and not enjoy it.
Mm.
Yep. I've been living through these guys, watching all these HeroCon videos, man. I so wish I was there. They look like they just had an absolute blast down there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Steve and I had the exact same shirt on.
Got to represent the C3, baby. Comics Curing Cancer.
Well, Steve, we're going to kick it back to you real quick. You know what I'm going to do? As people are getting their notifications, I'll keep giving them the tip of the hat. But let's get going with your first book, buddy.
So you're going to ask me how hard it was for me to check out do this. Now, this is my third 10-1-1 now. I've gotten one in the hot seat, and this is the third 10-1-1.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Nobody likes a bragger, Steve.
No.
Ooh, great X23 cover.
I got a little mixed bag today. It's mostly moderns, but there's a little bit of a theme. This is a Mike Mayhew.
I've not seen that Mayhew cover of her. That is beautiful.
Yeah, Mike Mayhew. This is the X-Men #1 from the 21 series.
Gorgeous.
So really cool, but this is like a part A. So I think I whittled it down to about 16 books as part of the Anachronic Comics 10-1-1-19.
Right, so you're only a quarter of the Anachronic Comics.
That's not a photograph, is it?
No,
that's not a photo.
This is an actual
really nice
drawing.
Yeah, Mike Mayhew's a great artist. Sometimes he's a bit of a dick on his whatnot, though.
Go with
I'm
it.
just calling it like it is. He is sometimes.
Okay.
Got me some Shannon Mayer goodness. Only because, you know, this is number 2. This is one of the variant covers. This, I think, the C cover. Yeah, so this is the 1C cover for Mayhew, and then this is the X23 Shannon Mayer cover.
Nice.
That's
Shannon Mayer,
fantastic.
also a fantastic artist.
Another
So
nice
that's 1A and 1B. That's all part of the first one.
Okay. Yep.
So I'm into a little bit of signature series thing going on tonight, right? So I
Ooh,
got my
nice.
Mayhew signature.
I don't know why people keep breaking these 10-1-1 rules, Gary.
I
It's
know,
really
right?
annoying.
Oh, well,
I don't
you
know who
what it is.
started this.
There's one bad apple that comes in and ruins it, Joe, and then the rest follow course.
I wonder who that was.
I know. I don't want to mention any names.
All right.
Yeah.
Had
We're
to
not
clear
going to
that
point fingers and name names.
I have a few Mike Mayhew signatures too here. I have a Black
Do you?
Cat one, and I have that X-Men cover, the Jim Lee one, the famous one with him with Captain America, Wolverine, and Black Widow on it.
Nice.
Yeah, he did the homage.
Yeah, so he
Right there. Yeah.
yeah, did a little sideways signature action going on there. So it's kind of cool. So I actually ended up buying this one that was already done, so it came with the CO of A. I'd like to get my signatures when I actually witnessed them, kind of like my book number 2, which is the Silver Coin.
Silver Coin is such an underrated series. Not so good.
And there's
So
the man
good.
who wrote it right there, or actually did the drawings and
It's
stuff.
coming
with it.
back too, Steve.
Yes, I heard. This one was done by Chip Zdarsky. He did the writing, but all the artwork is done by this guy here, Mike Walsh. So I met him at Fan Expo in 23, day 1, and I got him to sign this one. And then he did the B cover himself too. So this was his cover, and I got him to sign the B cover as well.
Yeah, man, what great stories, right? I think there was only, out of all the issues, I think there was only one I was like, eh. All the rest I thought were fantastic.
I know, it was such a cool premise. So this coin is basically haunted, and anybody who possesses it just goes right to the 9th level, and then they get smoked in the end.
It's so funny. I saw that at the local comic book shop, and it looked kind of interesting. I said, nah.
No, it's so good. It's so like each story has a different premise, but they're all based around this coin, but they're all so good.
Okay.
Yeah, really well done. Different art or different writers too. So Chip did a few. You have James Tynion the 4th did a couple of them. A whole bunch of different writers on this.
And like
stuff.
I said, I
So
think
each
there's
story
about
is
15
unique.
of them out.
Yeah,
And there's only one I thought was okay. All the others I really, really liked.
yeah,
Okay.
they were great. So it's good horror stories. If you're into the horror genre, this is a really cool book for you.
All right.
So that's 2A and 2B.
All
We're
right.
already rolling
down,
along.
Hamlet. To be or not to be.
More signatures. So this year at Comic-Con in Toronto, I met this dude named Cody Ziegler, who's doing the current run of Miles Morales Spider-Man. So I got him to sign issue number 2. This is the E cover, first appearance of Rabble.
Oh,
I know
okay.
that Rob Fatstacks there, he is specking hard on this character because this one's going to be around for a while. Apparently, this bad guy.
There's been
bad
so many
girl.
new characters in Spider-Man, like Rick Rab, and I don't know. They're just like introducing a new character every other issue.
Yeah, and I had to grab it in a 9.8. This is the cheapest
Nice.
slab I've ever bought in my life. I went on to my comic shop. It cost me $17 US. To ship it with all the other books that I bought at the time was just a couple of dollars. So switching to Canadian, it's about $25 I paid for this damn thing. And
So I was
CGC didn't even put first appearance of Rabble on there and cover appearance on this one,
wow.
which is really messed up.
They do that a lot, though. You know what's funny is sometimes I'll have two of the same graded book from, like I have Spider-Woman 1 a few times from CGC.
Yep.
One of them says retelling of origin and new costume. The other one has nothing.
Yeah.
So they're really hit or miss on what they put on. It's like whoever they have on the book at the time.
Do you
So
know
like
which one was
their
first?
consistency isn't good.
Do you think it might be something having to do with the timing of it? You know, was the one that had all the information maybe a second one when they got their act together on it?
Yeah. Well, this book is so new that could be the issue, but I mean, it's right there. It says Rabble. Even though this is not the A cover, but the A cover doesn't have a picture of her on it, but this one does. This one's got full appearance of the character. So this should technically be her first appearance, even though she was in the first issue, but she wasn't named Rabble at the time. and she didn't have the costume.
But that would just be the first appearance of that character of her as herself then.
Yeah, it could be, but this should be still noted on the CGC label that it's the first appearance.
Because with Silk, you had the first appearance of now I'm going to forget her name, Cindy Moon, and then you had the first appearance of Cindy Moon as Silk.
Yeah, so they should denote that on the labels, but maybe they will in the future. I don't know, but again, $25 Canadian for a freaking slab on a brand new book. I wanted to get this one.
Why don't you just crack that one open, take your pen and write it at the top, and then glue it shut?
Yeah, I could just kind of forge his signature on there or slip this book in like other people do, and then just color in with a crayon yellow on the label, and then sign by.
You know what's funny, Steve? I was surfing Whatnot the other night, and a Tomb Raider book came up signed, and the crowd that was in there was only like 15 people in there at the time, so he shouldn't have run that book. It was a slab.
Oh my god!
And you starting about $1. I got it for $12.
Wow,
that's crazy.
I was like, and it's signed. I'm like, sweet.
Yeah, and the worst part is this one I picked up. I actually spent more money on this one raw. I was going to get this thing CGC'd at the Comic-Con because they were there. And then I looked on the back cover when I took it out, and there was a rip on the back cover.
Oh, what a bummer.
A good half-inch tear. So there was no way it was getting a 9.8. And I was like, oh, well, I still got it signed.
It might have new CGC because 9.8s are 9.9s now. So
that's
you never know.
It could be a 9.6 with a big half-inch tear on the back of it.
I've officially stopped sending stuff in now because of this whole,
I know.
Everything's got a bad taste in my mouth for grading now. And I love my graded books, but I don't feel like sending anything in anymore.
Yeah, I don't want to either. But, I was happy that I did it with my MADs just to basically preserve those books because they're so old and I don't want them to deteriorate anymore, especially with the signatures on them. So
there you go. That might be it right there. But, though, DVH, that doesn't explain the Jessica Drew Spider-Woman issue #1, which has been around since 1978.
Yeah. Like, what the hell? Even the collector app.
That one's been established. That one's been established for a year or two.
Yeah. That's insane, man. So Key Collector app, I'm correcting them all the time. I've been going through the Transformers series, and the amount of first appearances in every one of those books is ridiculous, and hardly any of them are on Key Collector. So, these guys aren't doing their research. Come on.
I was surprised you take the time to write in.
No, not yet. I'll wait till I'm retired, and then I'll be a grumpy old man, and I'll say, okay, yeah, I'm going to start just writing in.
What do you mean, grumpy old man? What does that mean?
I'm getting there now.
You know what I found, Steve? When you talked about yourself, and you mentioned that you had your paper route in 1982, and I'm saying to myself, see, I was married for 2 years already. I was
only 12, man.
And little Stevie says, I have money for my paper route. I can go buy comic books. Yay!
Yeah. I was so happy that I could go get my G.I. Joe #3. That was the first one that started it all, which I showed on one of the earlier 10-1 ones.
Yeah, I bought one for $12 the other night, Jackson.
Yeah, that is. I mean, this is even cheaper than I've got a Nottingham #3 up there that I paid $20 for. And I thought that was the cheapest one until this one came along.
Right.
Well, technically, that one still is the cheapest one because that was in Canadian.
It's so weird, right? Because it costs more to slab it than what it's worth.
I know. That's crazy. Like I said, a book up here to send down to get it done, you're almost looking at $100 Canadian. By the time you clean, prep, submit, and get back, so you better damn well love that book because you're into a lot of money.
Well, I showed you some 9.8s that I got on the last Espresso Mail Call, right? And they ran from $18 to $41.
I know, that was fantastic. You did some good shopping there on the auctions, right? The auctions are amazing.
Yeah.
So maybe we shouldn't talk about this.
Oh, yeah,
everyone else is going to be. Is that on the My Comic?
I pay so much money for those.
Is that the My Comic Shop auctions?
No.
We're talking.
Okay, yes, it is.
It was something else. I can't remember it right now.
Yeah. Okay. Go to
auctions.com/
Yeah, that's the one.
Slabs. That was it. Write that down. Somebody please put it in the comments.
Yeah, that's the ticket. Yeah.
That's the ticket. Yeah. Don't go to My Comic Shop. They're horrible. Their shipping's terrible.
Actually, My Comic Shop is one of the places I do like to buy comics from. A lot of other retailers I can't stand buying from.
They're very good.
Yeah, they are. And sometimes you can find a lot of stuff. They have such good inventory. You can find stuff there you can't find anywhere else sometimes.
Oh, yeah. That's always crazy.
All right, number 4, Steve. Gosh, man.
Like my next one.
Just wandering around.
Yes. Twisted, yes.
Oh, good one. Twisted.
Some Bernie Wrightson covers.
I love
Is
those.
that how am I saying it right? Bernie Wrightson.
Bernie Wrightson.
Bernie Wrightson. So I don't
You're adding an extra syllable in there.
It's the Canadian accent of mine. And not only did I have to grab that one, I had to grab the number 1, which is a really cool cover too. We got the Blue Dress in Distress.
Nice.
So this one's Richard
changing up the
Corbin's
game
cover.
from the red, huh?
Yeah. So instead of the red dress in distress, the blue dress. But man, that Bernie Wrightson cover is just cool. Like walking around with a bandolier full of heads and a belt full of heads. And see, he's got room on there for some more heads. So George is going after these guys.
You got to complete the collection.
Yeah, and that's again where my comic shop comes in because I've been grabbing up of them.
I was talking about the heads on the cover.
Oh, the heads, yeah.
No,
I got to collect these too. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Talking about that, I was gifted a bunch of them from Chuck a while back. They're put away. I got to pull them back out now and see which ones I have because I don't remember. I don't know if I put them into CLZ or not.
Now, have those hit the being expensive part yet, or are they still reasonable, Steve?
I picked these up for $2 on my comic shop a piece, so $4 for these books, so it was cheap. Yeah, they're not super high grades. Like I mean, they're mid grades, but who cares?
That's right.
Bernie Wrightson. It's a good story. The art's fantastic. You know what else do you want, right?
Right.
Especially
I agree.
You can never go wrong for Bernie Wrightson for $2.
Oh no. I mean, after the Swamp
especially
Thing,
the amount of detail he puts in a panel is amazing.
Oh yeah, House of Secrets 92, man. Like that's all you got to say right there. Like I mean, that's it.
Oh, just so much. And that one, the Frankenstein's lab or whatever it is. You ever see that picture? The guy in the laboratory.
Yeah.
Like every inch of that piece of art is just contains something. It's gorgeous to look at.
It reminds me of George Perez style, you know, because Perez is the same way. He's just absolutely detail oriented.
And that's why you like oftentimes like you'd have Bernie or Barry Windsor Smith back in the day. They'd be late for an issue because they'd put so much work into their art. That's why in those early issues of Conan, you'd have like a Gil Kane fill in as an artist for a couple of issues because it was taking Barry Windsor Smith so long to complete an issue.
Mm-hmm. That was the artist had a lot of problems with that. Harvey Kurtzman did that with Mad in the 50s. He was having such a hard time. He kept going to the boss to ask for more money because he took so much time doing the research for just a couple of the books. Meanwhile, his partner was putting out like 5-6 series, no problem. And, you know, he's taking his time. Al Feldstein was just smoking out the books like crazy. And Harvey's just dicking around with these couple of books because he put so much of his energy and detail into it. And he figured he needed to be compensated for that. And that wasn't the way it worked.
No.
Right.
And he never kind of got that through his
time,
head.
right?
Yeah. Yeah. He figured, you know, all the energy he's putting into it, he should be compensated. And nope, not going to happen, man.
Nope. You got to make money to make money.
Exactly. All right.
So Twisted was number 4. All right, number 5, sir.
All right. Now we're going to go back to a cool artist that I like. This is my Shannon Mayer. King in Black, number 1. Comics Mint. I picked up the book, and then they had the option when you bought the book, you could get it sent to CGC and done, and there was also a signature at the time too. So Shannon Mayer was doing these signature series, so I had him do a signature on it, had it sent in, and get that lovely yellow label, and I was happy to get the 9/8.
Nice.
Just an absolute stunning cover.
Shannon Mayer does have some good ones.
Oh,
the only thing I would say about Shannon Mayer, there's a lot of his stuff I love, but sometimes on a couple of them, he goes too young in the face for me.
Yeah, and sometimes he just kind of repeats the exact same pose and the same look over and over again in some of them too.
I mean, I have a great black cat one from him. I think I have a beautiful red Sonia one, but on some of them, and Derek Chu does that also, and every once in a while, David Nakayama will do it, where they just go too young in the face, and I just can't enjoy the cover at all because of it.
Yep. He did a bunch of fantastic ones in Cult of Dracula. He did like all the
Cult of
on that.
Cult of Dracula is a good miniseries, and Rise of Dracula, the follow-up's really good too.
So I got one of the Comic Mint Shannon Mayer is the one. It's a metal cover, with his, and that one's really cool. That may show up on another 1011 one day.
Oh, there you go.
Doing more Shannon Mayer covers. So that was a cool one.
And again, a really good series too. If no one's read those Cult of Dracula and Rise of Dracula, they're really good.
They were really well done. Short series, so it's not.
And I think there's a third one that's going to be coming out.
Yeah, I think there were what, six or seven books?
issues.
6 issues, yeah. So I like him when they do limited books like that. So it's not a big commitment.
I agree, Jackson. He does that a lot of times too. I love Art Germ's art, but when he makes the faces too young, I'm done with the cover. I'm like, nope, I'm good, thank you.
Yeah, it gets creepy then.
It's just look, if you're gonna draw a young superhero, draw a young superhero.
Yeah, it doesn't look like
don't make a sexy image and then put a young face on a sexy image. It doesn't fit.
Right, and it doesn't fit the superhero most of the time too. I agree there.
Yeah.
Like, don't sexualize a young face. That's just
Yeah, that's ungood.
Yeah, it's ungood.
All right. Now we're gonna go to one. I almost pulled this one, but you know what? I left it in anyway. Which one is the good cover? Let's go to the really cool cover, like this one. The Displaced. So this one is actually a Canadian writer, Ed Brisson, and the artist who did this one is Richard Pace, and this was an exclusive cover for my local comic book store, which is the Worlds Collide. So nice. Both of the artists
name for a comic store,
and both Worlds Collide used to be called the Unicorn, but now it's the Worlds Collide. The guy's been in business for 40 years. He's the one that I used to go to when I was a kid. So I still patron it, and he gets artists in every now and again. So they were both there to sign my books. So I've got this one personalized to Steve from Richard Pace, and then I got Ed Brisson to sign over there. Really cool series. So it's done by Boom Studios.
Oh, nice.
It's about the town of Oshawa basically disappearing. And then the survivors who were outside of the town when it disappeared were like put up. There was like police and all this stuff because the two towns just basically merged together. So Oshawa disappeared, and then Whitby and Curtis basically joined together, and it was like Oshawa never existed anymore. And then people start to forget that the city was ever there. And then
sounds very Silent Hill-ish.
It is. It's really neat, but the last issue just came out, and it was very disappointing. It kind of fell off.
That happens so often, right? The build up. These guys know how to write a good story, but they don't know how to end it.
Right.
They built it up so beautifully, and then they just crashed at the end. So I took a picture. That's one of the B covers, and then I got yet another cover, and then got that signed. I was just going to town, because he's a local guy from Oshawa. And then he also had an exclusive cover that was done by Chip Zdarsky, another wonderful Canadian. One day I'll meet Chip, and then I'll get him to sign this one too. So I have him sign.
Very no happy ending.
Yeah, no, there was no happy ending in this one. It was kind of a letdown. So, I mean, it was a great series, great build up. And then that last issue came out, and I was like, what the hell did you guys do? You were doing so good.
And Jerry's still here. Jerry, don't forget to send me an approved image to use in a thumbnail, buddy.
Yes, for Thursday. I can't wait for that. It's going to be awesome. So, yeah.
Oh, look at Jackson just hating on me. Jackson, when I cry myself to sleep tonight, it's your fault, buddy. That's your conscience.
You made him a blue wrench. Well, Tina can take him out, right?
Yeah.
Blue wrench
battle of the blue wrenches.
I gotta take Jackson's blue wrench away. That's what it is. Then I can sick Tina on him.
Yeah. Make him just one of the chat again.
Right. All right, number 7, bud.
All right, so now we're gonna go to.
Oh, okay. One. Oh, thank you, Jackson. I'm so used to getting picked on. I don't know when he's talking me up.
We're gonna go with Nottingham. So I picked up issue number 2 because this one is really, really tough to get your hands on. Read a cool series. It just came back. Issue 13 will be out tomorrow, actually. So unfortunately, my LCS couldn't get it, so I got to go to one of those, My Comic Shop or some other place, and try and find this book. And I missed number 12 as well, because this ended at 11, I think it was, or 10, I think it was. And then they brought back the series because everybody wanted this series back again because it was so cool. So it's basically showing Robin Hood from the point of the sheriff, and Robin Hood being a terrorist, basically. And the sheriff, it's kind of like a detective story. It's really well done. And the art is fantastic in this, and I just wish they would continue it on. They had Tales of Nottingham, and they've done kind of spin-offs from it. But this issue, for some reason, the first one came out, it had a lot of a lot sold, a lot printed. But this one had a very small printing, and it disappeared quickly, and they had to come back with a second print. So I had missed out on the first print, and I had a second print, and I was having a hell of a time finding this book. So then I finally found it.
My only problem with some indies, because I'll get really invested in one, and this happened, and luckily I didn't pick this one up, but like Briar, right? It was out for 5 issues, then it disappears for 7 months, and then comes back with the next one. Look, no one's going to keep reading your book if you take breaks that long. People forget the story. They have to go back, read it all over again just to catch up. And that's where some of these indies shoot themselves in the foot, because they're not consistent with their release schedule.
Yeah, James Tynan IV is kind of bad for that too. He's done that with several of his series where he's just kind of left us hanging.
I used to love Scout Comics. I would buy any of the horror books they put out, and then I just stopped because I never knew when the next one was coming out. Like I couldn't wait a year and hope that I ended up getting it.
Yeah, I've got half of a short box right in front of me of Scout Comics, and the same problem. I've got a whole bunch of issue 1s and 2s, and I'm waiting for the rest to come out.
Or they start a series and they'll just stop it and not tell anybody.
Scouts Comics is not too far from where my place is in Florida. So a couple of years ago, I didn't go this year or last year, but I think a couple of years ago I went there. Actually, I filmed some of it, and I spoke to the 2 people that ran the store, and they said, "Well, didn't really have a good answer for me, because I said, look, I've got this one. I was fine, so I'm waiting for the last issue, number 6, And it was like months and months and months. And they said, oh, it's going to come out next month. Well, it was actually 3 months later when it came out.
Oh, yeah. Like The Recount was a great series. And then they could have kept that one rolling. That could be actually a TV show.
And it's just hard to give them your money when they don't respect their customers enough to put anything out on a regular basis.
Yeah, I don't know why that is, though. It shouldn't be.
No, because they had some series I really, really, really liked.
Yeah, and quality books too, like the paper's quality, the artwork, the writing is great.
But they forced me into quitting them.
And if you go down there to their place, it's a big room, and they've got all this stuff, all over the place. And, and I told them, I said, recommend something for me. And they did, because I figured since they spoke to me, I should buy something. And I did, and it was a good story. I think it was They Kill Spiders, Don't They? I think was the one that I picked up.
Oh yeah, that was the one you were telling me about, because I just picked that one up. We don't kill spiders.
Well, and I think too that unfortunately, I think we're going to look at an indie comics publishing purge in the next year or two with the way things are going.
Wow.
Like I think we'll see a good handful of them just fold up and go bye-bye.
Yeah.
There's just too much on the market, and now people are starting to invest in these universes. Everybody's doing a universe now. And it's going to leave less and less room for the other independents.
So the smaller ones you might think get gobbled up.
Well, because now if you have Transformers and G.I. Joe in an Energon universe, you have the diehards that are only going to have money for that now because that universe is getting bigger.
Yeah.
Same thing now. Spawn isn't just Spawn and King Spawn. Now it's Spawn, King Spawn, Scorched, Misery, Rat City. It's expanding, and then you got people that are only going to be able to invest in that.
Yeah.
And also the Void not the Void Rivals. There was that other one, the new one with Rook and Redcoat and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, this stuff right here.
And I think and unfortunately, great for them that they're finding success, but there's some of these smaller companies that have been kind of holding on, but they're not going to be able to hold on anymore.
Yeah, Image is just kicking ass. I think they're going to be unseating DC at some point in time and fall into that number 2 slot. Tiger, another great.
That's with Rook and Redcoat.
Yeah, that whole Ghost Machine side.
Yes, that's a Ghost Machine universe.
So that building down in Florida is their world headquarters.
Oh,
so when I go down there this time, I'm going to go down there and say, you know what, Steve the Voice White Walker and Gary B. the Casual Guy are really pissed off at you guys. And if you want to continue in business,
at Scout Comics,
have more regular issue schedules.
And I used to do videos on their books to try to promote them. But then once they're releasing got erratic, I'm like, I can't do videos on this. I can't tell somebody to go buy this and then they don't have any idea when the next one's coming up.
Yep, 100%.
That's just me suggesting bad ethics to my watchers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I had it out with them one time too, because they sent me number 1 of the recount and the variant cover. You know, the one that was, oh shit, what was the movie? Scarface, the Scarface movie.
Yeah.
And it
Yeah,
had
are you talking about the
poster? And the books came damaged. So I contacted them and I said, okay, we got some damaged books. And they said, okay, send them back and then we'll send you replacements. And I'm like, well, who's going to pay for the postage and all this stuff to send them back? And it was a little while before they got back to me and they said, okay, don't bother sending the books back. We'll just send you replacements. Like, these things were all crunched up. They looked like somebody had dumped their coffee on them. I don't know what the hell they were doing with the box, man, but it was in bad shape. But they sent me replacements and, it was all good after, back and forth a few times, because I'd send the books back, but I said, I'm not paying for the postage for it back,
Right. You're already in the hole then at that point.
Yeah, exactly. I already paid for the books once.
All right, number 8, Steve.
All right. Got to carry on. Moving along.
We Blue Scout up enough.
Yeah. Boo-hoo Scout. Another Shannon Mayer. Now, this one, I really love this.
Look at that.
And I love the signature placement. He did it right on the collar.
Yeah, that's nice. What book is that?
This one is Villain of the Year. Harley Quinn's Villain of the Year, number 1. And funny enough, too, I had always boasted and said that I had raw books of every single slab I have. I can't find the raw for this. I don't think I have a raw for this book.
Oh.
So that's
a nice cover. That's a nice Harley. Yeah.
Yeah, he did her amazingly, the way the eyes are, and just I love the look of this one.
And it looks almost like the red is on a glow ink or something like that,
Yeah, it does. It looks amazing.
Yeah, I didn't even know that was Harley. It's just a good portrait.
Yeah. Try to get that glare gone.
Yeah. Nice.
But just the location of the signature on her little neck collar is pretty cool, and they're limited too. This was I think 1 of 1,000. It was, and this is number 617, so it comes with the whole cert. And I just taped it to the back of the book.
Nice.
So yeah, numbered, and this came out in 2019. So a really cool series. Well, again, I was just after the art. Yeah. I have no idea if the book's any good because I've never read it. Yeah, it's almost like a neon.
Oh, you don't have like a regular A cover or B cover of it?
I might have an A cover somewhere. I don't know where the hell I put them. I don't know if I put them under Year of the Villain or under Harley Quinn, so I got to dig through my DC books and figure out where the hell I put them.
23 months. Good evening, sir. Nice to see you.
Yeah, so that was a fun one. So it's a lot of signatures tonight.
That's
okay. These are books that are kind of near and dear to my heart as far as the artwork that I love the artwork, and a lot of them I love the stories on. In this case, it's more of not so much the story, but the artwork just blew me away, so I had to have this book.
Right.
I think I got it at an auction somewhere. I'm trying to remember where. I can't remember where I got it from an auction somewhere. Probably paid way too much for it.
It was at slabs.com/whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's slabs.com.
Oh, something's irritating the children.
No, actually, this is
that's Grimm.
This is Grimm. Yeah, so this is Grimm number 1, the F cover with Jay Lee. And then it was at the 23 Comic-Con in Toronto, the day 1.
Grimm I enjoy.
What's that?
Grimm I enjoy.
It's a really good series. And this Jay Lee cover is amazing. And then I got him to sign it. I had a bunch of books for him to sign, but he was charging quite a bit for them. So I went with this one. I should have got my Gunslinger number 1 signed.
I think I have that cover too, but that cover's always reminded me of a something that's killing the children cover for some reason.
It's almost like the Jenny Frison type covers, right?
Right.
So, and I just love the way his signature is too. And he just started writing, and I was like, "Wait, I got to take a picture." And then he stopped mid signature, as I was getting my phone ready. And then he finished doing the signature there, because that's like, I think I caught him when he froze right there. And I said, "Wait," and he goes up.
Yeah, I'm wondering how much longer that series is going to go on too.
Yeah, I don't know. They've kind of come to a resolution with it, but I don't know. I mean, they can only drag the story on for so long, right?
Steve, if you interrupt the artist when he's signing, he might go, "What?"
Maybe that's why his signature is like that now, because I screwed up when I said, wait, I'm trying to get my phone ready, right? Because you know me, I like to get my pictures of my artists. I like my photographic evidence so that I have them on the back.
Right.
even though he's wearing a mask, so we're not really sure if that is Jay Lee. It said on the sign behind him it was Jay Lee, and I talked to him, so
Good enough, right?
Yeah, and that's the problem a lot of times too.
I know, but that was really Jimmy Lee, though. That was Jimmy Lee.
Lee.
Yeah.
Yeah, Chip Zdarsky's been like that too. He's been wearing a mask, but he's got that face that you can tell it's him, even if he does wear a mask. So a couple of times, I hope I'll catch him at one of the cons. I don't know if he's going to be at Fan Expo this year. I hope so. That'll be cool. Oh my God, where am I at now?
You're at number 10.
Already? No, that's number 9. This was 9.
Number 9, yes.
Yeah, this is 9. Okay.
Yeah, your next one's 10.
All right.
Don't worry, I got them all written down.
Yep. So do I, right here in front of me. But yeah, even my A's and B's and all this good stuff. Well, I can't go through a 10-1-1 without putting up a cool G.I. Joe book.
I was waiting for that. I was waiting for it.
One that I love, near and dear to my heart. This one's called Shakedown. Of course, I got to have it raw. And
what issue number?
This is G.I. Joe number 34. So this one's called Shakedown. I don't know. This one just really struck me when I read it. I almost made this one my extended personal story because it almost could be. So in this one, we've got Wild Weasel doing basically a shakedown with the Baroness in the Rattler. And then we've got Ace and Lady J in the Striker, the Sky Striker. And they're both the women are getting checked out on the new technology in both the jets. And then as they're flying, they happen to come across each other, and then they start this huge gun battle in the sky. And they basically run out of ammunition trying to destroy each other, and neither one of them destroying each other's plane, but just smashing the living crap out of the planes. And it's just
so it's like an airplane stormtrooper fight.
Oh yeah, like a major fight in the air, dog fight, and nobody comes out as a decisive winner. But I just loved at the very end when they do their gun checks. Both of them do a gun check, completely empty. They do a flyby of each other, and they both salute each other at the end. After going through this massive dogfight to kill each other, and at the end, they respect game, which I thought was really
all right.
good.
You're tough. Yep.
Yeah, and that's it. Meanwhile, you got the Baroness in the back seat screaming at Wild Weasel, and you got Lady J screaming at Ace, and the two of them are just, they're just flying the plane like, we're done. And they're like, you can't break off the engagement now. What the hell's going on?
Kind of like Snoopy and the Red Baron.
Yeah. Just never got each other, and they just flew away, just like typical G.I. Joe fashion. Everybody shoots everybody, and nobody hits anything.
Nice.
So I thought that was a cool one. Like I said, I almost made it my personal extended story, but can't go through one without a G.I. Joe book. So that's why I had to dig this one up in a 9.8 at one of those auctions in that weird auction place that Joe and I were talking about earlier.
Yeah, that's slabs.com.
Yeah, slabs.com. That's
well, don't worry. In a couple of these weeks, I'm going to get you out those 3D ones to you, so you'll have those to add to your G.I. Joe collection. You're
too good to me, Gary. You're too good because I got this thing right here, which I've been after for a long time. The NYX3. That was incredible. Go check out my video on that one because that's an amazing one with me unpackaging the thing. I had no freaking idea this guy threw this book in there. I was
exactly
stunned.
You got to surprise people when you can.
Well, it worked.
Hey, Naman, nice to see you, bud. Naman will be co-hosting next on the July 2nd when we have a Taku tour guide on the 1011.
Nice.
And Naman wants to do his own album version of the 1011.
Oh, that'll be cool too. He was a legend at Heroes Con. I heard he stole an entire booth and took it over and just sat down and said, "Yeah, this is my booth now."
We get 30 people there, and all the artists and people are saying, like, "Who is this guy?"
Yeah, everybody sat down, started drawing and stuff. People are coming up to the table, going, "What are you selling?" So, Naman, yes, you were a legend before, but now you're like a super legend because of that, which I thought was cool.
Naman's a good dude.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
All right. Now we're on to.
Now you're on to your extended storybook.
So this is The Nice House on the Lake, the 1 in 25. And I got this one triple signed. So at Fan Expo in 2022, I think that was the first time that I met Mark Andrews and Wayne. was at this con because I'd never met them before, and I run into Mark Andrews. He was looking in the same booth that I was, and I was trying to figure if that was him or not. But you know, you can't miss that beard. And I remember walking around. I came up behind him and I scared the crap out of him. I said, "Mr. Andrews," and he just kind of froze. I was like, "Oh shit, I'm in trouble."
They didn't really carry him anymore.
They got me. So we hung out for a bit, and I got in the lineup for James Tynan IV. He was there with who the whole gang was there. So not only did I get James Tynan IV, I got Werther de Eldra. He's the cover artist for this one, and then Martinez Bueno, who does the interior artwork for this book. So I got it all triple signed. I was going to send this one off, but I thought, no, I got the photographic evidence on the back. Of course, everybody's wearing the masks. And the lineup for this was ridiculous. It was like freaking, I was in the lineup for like 45 minutes. And worse, I was yapping with a few guys in the lineup. And then I happened to look ahead of me, about 4 or 5 guys ahead of me. This guy at his feet had a short box.
Oh.
And I went, oh, for frig's sake. And then, of course, his handler was really, really cool about it. So he goes, you can only do so many of these, and then you're going to have to just come back because the lineup's too big, or leave the box with us, and we'll get through it when we get through it. So that was pretty cool. And since they had the whole lineup along the tables there, as people were getting James Tynan, there was other artists there, and he looked at me and he goes, "What are you getting signed?" And I said, "I got this one. I want this guy, and this guy signing." And he goes, "Okay, Werther de Eldra, there's nobody at his thing. Go get the signature." So I did, and then I kind of stepped out of the line. He goes, "Okay, we'll wait for Bueno. Okay, he's ready. Go get his signature." And then finally James Tynan. And I walked over, and then I asked if I could do it.
People that bring a short box, they're just kind of being dicks because they're just selling them.
Yeah.
Which is okay. You're allowed to make a buck, but are you allowed to hold up a line that might be 3 hours long?
Exactly. And it was already 45 minutes. And I'm like, holy Christ, this guy's going to I'm going to be here all day. I'm not even going to be able to enjoy the rest of the damn con, because I'm going to be standing in this lineup all day.
Same thing. I brought something for him to sign at New York Comic Con. I brought a bunch of things. I never went to get it signed because he was all the way in the front on the floor, and the line went all the way to the back, and it's a huge room. I said, that's got to be 2 hours. I said, I don't have 2 hours to spend on this line.
But the smart thing to do is come back another time, because I was there for the 4 days. I came back the next day and there was no lineup at all. I walked right up to him and I stood there yapping with him for a little while about this series and said, I'm going to be sad when you're done with this series. And he looked at me and he goes, "Well, we're not really going to be done with this." He goes, "I got another story to go." And I went, "Oh, cool." So I had some inside info. He didn't tell me any details, but he says, "No, the story's not going to end here. It's going to carry on." So now they've announced there's a new one. It's The Nice House by the Sea. That's actually going to be coming out very shortly. So that's going to be the next kind of, we'll see what happens with it. I don't know what he's got in plan for it, but
so they're just going lake, the sea. Next one's nice house by the ocean, and nice house in the Milky Way.
Nice house in Nantucket. Nice house on the Cape. They're going to be nice houses all over the place,
right?
But I like where they got the signature placement. That was pretty cool. The Tynan and then Werther and the other gun. They all did it in gold. Oh yeah, the other one's down here.
Nice.
So they did it in gold, which was kind of cool. So it was really cool meeting him and not having any crowd there. So I could just stand there and I was shooting the shit with him. So I was asking him questions. I was asking him what his favorite books were and his favorite genre. And he actually said that he likes 70s horror books. So he's more of a Bronze Age horror guy.
Nothing wrong with 70s horror. I love 70s horror.
No, I said, yeah, that's awesome, man. And then I got a selfie with him in the whole bit. So that was cool. And then the next day after that, there was nobody at his table. So every day he would do 3 books. If he brought 3 books, he'd do them for free. So each day of the con, I brought 3 books. So I had 12 books total signed by him for free. And then I bought a couple too, right? I wasn't going to be a total cheapskate. I went and got a 1 in 25 of the.
That's the thing too. If they're giving you a free signature, you can buy a book.
I was buying books, and I was also, I got a pin and a few other things because I like the Department of Truth. Because that's a really cool series, and that one's actually back. It'll be out tomorrow. Yes, James Tynan IV, all hail.
Roddy Boy Comics. Good evening.
Yeah, he just writes great.
Good morning for him, actually.
Is he on the other side of the planet?
Yeah.
Excellent. Yeah, so that's kind of my extended personal story because
Nice.
I had a great time there. I met some cool people. Hopefully this year will be even better because Chris the Comic Vet will be there, and then Mark will be there, and might have a few personalities floating around. So we might do a mini Heroes Con thing going on. We just got to get that Matt Woods guy up here across the border.
I thought it was Matt Woods.
Woods. Right now we got a drink because we said his name. All hail Matt Woods.
Marcus is reminding everybody that nominations are open at the cbcawards.org.
Mm-hmm.
Yay. So
Chris the Comic Vet, good evening, sir. Nice to see you. Yes,
I said your name, Chris. I'll see you at Fan Expo. At one of the days, I don't know. I'm there for all 4 days because I get those the Ultimate Fan Package, not the VIP, the one just down from it.
Frog Brawler's asking if that's a screwdriver.
This one? Nope, straight up orange juice.
And it's it's 8:45 in the AM where Ronnie Boy is.
Wow.
You think we believe that, Steve? Come on.
Right. Yeah, at least I was openly drinking my beers here.
I don't like alcohol. It's
now I'm on to my Gatorade Zero.
Oh yeah, so you got it. Yeah, you got. That's what we call in Canada a splitter. So you have some alcohol, then you get some fluids in you, and then you can drink more alcohol, and you're good. You just keep doing your splitters in between.
Nah, it was a hot day. A couple beers was good. I'm all set now.
I'm gonna try that in the freezer thing. That's a cool idea. Throw it in the freezer.
Well, yeah, but you just can't forget it in there, Steve.
Can't forget it.
Or you burst the bottle in there.
Yeah.
The better thing for me is if you get a glass mug, run it under the water, put it in your freezer.
Oh,
this was also that as well, Joe.
Right,
I had a double.
And you can put your beer in the freezer too, but in the refrigerator, then you pour it in there. You see the ice and the thing starts to crackle and all that, and you just can't wait to get your lips on the end of that. And when they stick to it, you know that you really had a good cold beer.
But then you also get the frost. You get the halfway frozen head on it too, which is pretty good.
Oh, yummy, yummy! Yes, like licking the pole out in the parking lot, right? When you're a kid, tongue stuck to the pole.
There you go.
Now your spec pick, Steve.
Oh yeah, now this is going to be a good one. I think this one could be a TV series. Or
Strawberry Shortcake was already a series. No.
So I better take it out of the bag because I got enough problems with the glare. And I got this one at a pretty reasonable price too. So I picked it up as a slab. But I got all the raw books.
Oh, Newburn?
Newburn. Yeah, and I met actually a couple of the artists that did some backup stories at the Fan Expo as well, and I got them to sign.
I missed out on that series, but I heard it was really good.
Oh, just fantastic. If you like detective and mob stories, then this one kind of fits the bill. So Newburn he's a cop. He was an ex-cop who's retired from the police force, but now works for the mob as a detective for the mob. So he deals with the mob, basically gets together with all the other gangsters in the town. So you've got like the Yakuza and the mob and then whatever, all the different gangs, they all get together. And if they have anything like somebody got murdered at some point, they'll bring in Newburn to find out what happened so they don't end up having an all-out gang wars all over the place. So they all basically respect what his decision is when he comes in and does his investigation on whatever mob murder has happened. Yeah. So they don't involve the police, right? They keep the police out of it, and he does all the detecting. So that way they don't have to
find out.
That's a pretty cool premise.
We get the right guy, Newburn.
Yeah.
So we'll give you your usual fee, We got to find out. I want the answer in 2 weeks. 2 weeks.
This crossover with Bruno, the Newburn and Bruno comic.
In 2 weeks, I'll be back, and bada boom.
And that's exactly it. Like, it's a really good story. This is still ongoing because he's got an apprentice that he's basically teaching to take over his place. And to keep the mob basically from killing him, he's got dirt on all the different mob bosses. So they'll keep him around, and respect his decisions. Or otherwise, he'll release all the information he has on him.
Right. I'm sure he's got people that will release it upon his death.
Yeah, basically.
His death is funny.
You got to do that.
So he's making all these shady deals. He still deals with the police department on occasion, to get more information about whatever murders happened. And yeah, it's a really, really cool series. Really well written by our lovely man. Who was it? It was Chip, right? Yeah, Chip Zdarsky. So again, see, Canadian writers, I tell you. Guys are fantastic.
Jackson, am I just making it all up, Jackson?
Sounds like Joe knows about this stuff. There's no such thing as a mafia.
Careful, Jackson, because if Bruno finds out, we may not see you in the chat anymore. Joe's just got to send that hit out.
I'm saying.
Talking about sleeping with the fishes.
Yep, he's gonna fit him with some nice cement sneakers.
Well, they'd be cement Crocs now, right? You got to get them with the modern age. Holy shit! I did it under an hour. Look at that. It's not even time yet.
50 minutes. 51 minutes. Good job. Job well done. And we even had time for some tangents.
Yes, we did. Like bashing on Scout Comics.
Right?
I feel bad for them. Those people down there are very nice.
They are. Like, I mean, I've seen videos of people in their store, and like I said, I love the books. It's just, yeah, they need more consistency. That's all.
Yeah, well, I mean, but that's not just them. That's a lot of indie publishers. They need consistency. That's where they lose their customer base.
Yeah, probably because they get. I don't know how the infrastructure works, but I mean, with
like
the writers
people make
and
fun of
the
Zenoscope, and I don't read the Zenoscope books, but man, those things come out on time. You know, all their grim fairy tales are out monthly. All their stuff is out monthly.
You know, the one thing with Scout that kind of got me when I went down there, because I saw it and I didn't know, they need money. But the point is, when I walked in there, they had so many different books. I mean, a ton of books, and I was saying to myself, boy, you guys put out a lot. They had a whole children's book section, which you probably didn't even know about. They had a whole other section where they just had the ash cans, Yeah,
they're the ones who do Scoot, right?
Right. I think so. So they're publishing so many books. So the question I have is, why? I mean, if you can't get the books out, why do that? Why not get it down just to a number where you can get them out, get your readership invested more, and not turn them off?
Right, because I was a diehard Scout reader, and then I stopped cold.
Yep. Their business model, they need somebody else in there to help them out with their marketing.
I'm like, I don't know if my next issue is coming out in a month, 3 months, 6 months, a year. Who knows? Or if ever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But it is what it is, right? I mean, hopefully they learn.
And that's all I have to say about that.
But great book, Steve. A lot of fun, buddy.
Yeah, very nice.
Yeah, lots of signatures. So yeah, these were really cool books with a lot of nice artwork and good stories.
Well, I know you like your SIGs.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna catch up to that Signature King. Wait till the con this year, because I mean these Ghost Machines. It's in August, at the end of August.
Oh shoot!
I'll have my vacation time, and then Mark and I
got to try to get your AOK out. That way, if there's any of those books you want to bring for yourself to get signed, you can do it.
Well, I wish Larry Hama would come up to Canada so I could get his signatures, because man, that would be my my holy grail if I could meet that man and get my G.I. Joe.
He comes in with his short box.
You didn't hear it? Larry Hama's famous for disliking Canada and anything Canadian.
Wow, even better.
Every time he talks, all he says is those dirty Canadians.
I'm gonna put a big Canadian flag shirt on.
I kid, Larry Hama. I kid. I'm gonna get like official mail from Larry Hama. Stop a deceased order.
Yes, I do not endorse what Gary said. He lives on a throne of lies. It's incorrect information. But yeah,
I don't think so. They don't have any ongoing, Frog.
No. The one thing is, if you're a new writer, if you're a new author of these things, you might be able to get your books in through Scout.
Yeah,
that's how I met this one guy who's a new author. He's going on to Image now, and he's doing a few other things. But that was his entree. Was a 6-issue limited series, of which the first 5 came out month after month after month, and the 6th one took about 7 months to come out.
Jeez.
So he's on, but he was a brand new writer, and I got to talk to him. I've gotten to know him. Seen him at New York Comic Con a couple of times. And so that was kind of a nice thing, because he was looking to publicize himself. And when I said I picked up this book and I talked about it on one of my shows, he reached out to me.
Oh, that's cool.
So I think that's also part of their problem, right? If you're going to take on these new authors, make sure they had their work done, so you have a set release schedule.
He did. He had it done. He had all 6 issues done, but that for some reason they just didn't publish that last issue. I'm not sure what they were waiting for. Maybe it was cover art. I don't know what it was.
Right.
Because I asked him when I was down, I said, I'm waiting for a number. He goes, oh, next month it's coming up. And it was a couple of months after that it came out.
Did you ever ask them, Joe, where their Black Caravan imprint, is that like part of their thing, or is that like a sub?
I didn't. There was a husband and wife group. I forget their names offhand now. If I go down there again this next year, I should look at my video and remember what their names are. But they ran it. But there were offices on the second floor, you know. And I said, oh, is this like your? He said, no, these are our world headquarters here.
Wow.
And
now we're gonna go around the horn and do our normal thing. So, Joe, what's coming up for you, sir?
Well, I just dropped my first in a series I'm calling Who Is,
which was fantastic, by the way. Everybody should go watch it. That was an incredible video.
Yeah, it was Who Is Wonder Woman.
A lot of don't know, but it was a good video.
Yeah. We were going to have a comic book crowd the last Friday. That was Steve's idea, the afterlife of our comic book collections. But unfortunately, we had some issues with getting everybody together, Steve and me. So for this Friday night at 8 o'clock, we're going to do basically a rewind. I edited our third episode. And I have to tell you, this is one of the episodes that I love the best that we did. And that's and basically what we address is cameo versus first appearance. And it's just such a good episode. So I'll tell you, like, if you want to get in there and take a look at it, that'll be this Friday night. Our next, I think in about a week, we're going to have another edition of the Comics from Let Me Eat. This time it's going to be The Brave and the Bold. I pulled out all my Brave and the Bold comics from the 60s. And after that, we do have Bill Miller. What's his thing?
Comic Mag
Musings, right. He's going to be the next applicant on the Anachronic College of Comic Book Knowledge.
Say that 5 times fast.
So we got
Joe. I know I was picking on you, but really that Wonder Woman thing, I was so impressed with it. I thought it was amazing. So well done. It was so good and so enjoyable and so well put together. It was incredible.
You did good research.
People were saying, I was telling people in my channel members about a month ago, yeah, I'm working on this thing. And someone said, well, when's it ready? I said, it's not one of those things you put out like in 2 days. I said, it takes a while to do this type of stuff, you know? So, but it was fun to do. And the next one's going to be on a Marvel character. So the Marvel people don't feel left out.
I'm waiting for your Xena Warrior Princess one. Let me know.
Okay, that'll be down the road.
No love for Xena on Joe's side.
I love the show. I love the show.
Or Turok.
Now, coming up for me, we'll do Steve because he's the host, the guest last. Yeah. So coming up in 2 nights' time, we have Jerry the Jitterbug making his 10-1-1 debut. After doing 2 episodes of In the Hot Seat, we will have him on here, and I'm sure we'll see lots of great Wiz Comics on and some Silver and Bronze Age stuff. I know Jerry's been hitting the Bronze Age horror quite a bit too, and some of the other books. And also on the 2nd, kicking off July, we have Otaku Tour Guide on for his second 10-1-1. We'll have Nauman as a guest host. We will have no show on the 4th of July. It's a holiday, but it's also my birthday. So I'm taking my birthday off because the one thing I'd like to do on my birthday is absolutely nothing. I don't like to be responsible for jack shit on my birthday.
We're all showing up at Gary's house on the 4th of July.
Barbecue.
Well, you can. Just don't expect me to go do anything.
There's all the stuff. Good luck to you.
Right? You guys are welcome in. Have fun. This is where I am.
Excellent. That's a good goal.
Thank you, Nicholas. But I just like to be lazy on my birthday. It's the one day I like to take off from adulting.
Yeah, recharge the big old Duracell in your brain.
Right. I'm so easy on my birthday. I just don't want to do anything. Yeah. I just don't want to be responsible for nothing.
Sounds like every weekend in my life. Got to mow the lawn and do all the charring around the house. And
look, 50. I'll be 54. So not. And I got to celebrate it by getting a colonoscopy today. Yay.
Yeah.
54 years of keeping stuff out, and they got to put something in.
A camera.
And I was like, oh, you're going to be tired all night. I was like full of energy after that shit was done. I was like, my friend Brandy was kind enough to drive me there and drive me back home. I get out. I'm like, Brandy, I'm good. Let's go. I'm all set.
Wow. So
she's like, you're not tired? She goes, you're going to be tired. I'm like, nah, I'm good, Brandy. I'm like, honest, I'm not going to be tired.
That's all.
Like, I can tell.
That sleep is a really relaxing sleep, I have to tell you.
Did they put you right out, or did they give you like just something to make you dope?
No, they put me in. They were such a good, friendly staff. I was talking to them, having a lot of fun with them, and then I was waking up and Brandy's there saying hi.
Wow.
I was like, oh, hi.
That. Damn.
Yeah, it's over before you know it.
Right, and they go, oh, it's just a light one. So it's funny too because I did all the prep stuff.
Yeah,
I didn't have any issues. I was like, oh, you're going to be on the toilet forever. Nope. A couple times I was good. Yeah. Never had any dire emergencies. Never had to run for it.
Excellent.
So I'm like, everyone says this is so complicated. It was so like the whole process was so easy.
I've done it with a couple of different doctors, and the newer ones, the older ones, give you this stuff and it drives you nuts. And drink this and drink Gatorade and whatever else. This other guy says, yeah, just do this.
That's what I had.
And it was like, oh, okay, well, that was easy.
There you go.
But
the anesthesiologist says count backwards from 10. You go 10,
and you're gone.
9, that's it, gone.
I didn't even get that. We were just having a regular conversation, and then all of a sudden I was waking up.
You were waking up.
Okay.
Yep.
Easiest thing I've ever had done.
Well, I'm glad you feel good though. Yeah, and I agree with you. You don't feel you might feel a little woozy when you come out of it and whatever else, but within a short period of time, you're fine. Yeah. All right.
Do you tip them after? No.
Here's a $5. Thanks for.
Right.
And what's the customary tip? Is it like 10%, 15%?
Right. All right, guys. Joe, thank you for co-hosting tonight, buddy. I appreciate you coming on. It was short notice, and you came through for me. I appreciate it greatly. Steve, always fun to have you, either as a co-host or a guest. Thank you, buddy. Always great to have you.
That was fun, man.
And
thanks.
Of course, we had a fantastic chat. Thank you, chat. We appreciate all of you guys. It's not a show without you guys in there. We had a lot of the great regulars with us tonight. Mm-hmm. And but as we like to do on the show, until next time, keep it casual.
Cheers.